It's the Duffin Up Podcast.
All right, Duff Daddies and Duff Mamas, we have a very, very special episode for you tonight. We have the two founding members of one of the most impressive golf communities / I already forget it, golf social marketplaces. There we go, golf social marketplaces on the webs right now. I mean, we just looked at some amazing products that they currently have selling from consumers to consumers. An amazing Scotty Cameron golf bag, a not so amazing Scotty Cameron putter. It was actually probably the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life, but that's okay. We have Mike and Steve on from Mully Golf. Mike and Steve, how are you guys doing tonight?
Guys, hey, thank you for the intro. That was you crushed it. So what the listeners don't know is we've been like rapping out for like an hour, getting to know each other. And man, we should have hit record like an hour ago. That was fun. That's fun. This is fun. Like
would have been a totally different experience.
What I love about the golf community though, like you guys, I'll just say it, we are all just of the same, kin. We all have the same emotion, vibe. Like I love it. I mean, Steve and I mean, I love Steve. Steve's like a brother, technically a cousin. That's where it gets weird, right? So like he's like a best friend to me. And it's like we bonded because we're just like, well, you're a golfer, I'm a golfer. We met when we were like in the teens, and it's the same vibe. Like when you meet strangers in this world, we are all so alike because of this fabric that golf really does thread through all of us. It's an awesome thing. So I will just say thank you for having us, and I'll hand it off to my partner over there.
No, agreed. Appreciate you guys, and looking forward to the conversation. Let's get into it and continue the hijinks from a few minutes ago to now.
Yeah, absolutely. First question: have you ever seen something on the website where someone put it up and you're like, absolutely not. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen for golf material in my life. We're taking it down. We're not doing this.
I feel like that's a two-part question. In terms of absolutely not, this is the worst thing I've seen in golf. Yeah, there's some of that up there. Taking it down, no. I mean, look, everybody who's a golfer, I've got my first Mully purchase, like day 3 that we went live. I actually got it right here. It's under my mom.
Show that shit.
Yeah. What does it say?
Will golf for food.
Oh, that's amazing.
The corniest shit you've ever seen.
That's amazing.
Golf, is that ready golf?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So my mom got that for me when I picked up golf at like 16 or 17. I was obsessed the moment I hit my first golf ball. And like day 2 on Mully, this I mean, it doesn't pop up. I bought something from this guy and he had it listed like sort of separately, and he wound up just chucking it in and giving it to me, but nobody was gonna buy that. But he wound up tossing it in. So anything that goes up on Mully that I look at and I'm like, what are you doing? Somebody buys it because it means something to them too. So there really is something. Golf means so much to so much of us, and there's so much experience we have through product that everybody connects to whatever's up there. So we take nothing down.
I've been going off on the Scotty Cameron detour that Timmy and I found. Someone's gonna buy that.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh fuck yeah!
It's gonna be me.
I'll tell you guys.
I just want to reel it back and kind of talk about how'd you get into this? Like, where did Mully Golf come from? Where did it start?
Hold on. Don't take it back. Don't take it. I need to answer this question too. We both get shot with
just
shit.
the people that have not been on the call or not been on call for the past hour are probably like, who are these guys? What are they talking about? Because they're picking up right in the middle of our conversation. We got to start back. Just give a quick brief overview. What's Mully Golf? What's it all about? Give your best sales pitch about what you do to all the customers and clients out there, and then how'd you get into it? And then
can I take that?
Mike wants to speak.
Oh, I want to tell you, I love it. I love it, boys. So again, I'll just thank you for having this on, because you're right. To the preface of it all, and I'll give you a little backstory after. So Mully Golf is it's a social commerce community for golf. It's a place for golfers, all of us, to buy, sell, connect, discover everything golf related. In this day and age, shopping and e-commerce has taken a massive transformation in the last, I'll say, 5 to 10 years, right? It first started in fashion with Poshmark. People stopped selling on eBay, stopped selling on forums because they wanted a focused environment for people to ask questions, to comment, just like we do on social networks, just like Instagram, Facebook. That behavior started to bleed into other areas of internet, which is commerce. So you could tag people on posts, the things you can't do on eBay, right? So I had a friend of mine kind of tipped me off to this, and I was like, oh my, because she was massive in fashion. She was like a preferred posture. I was like, what the hell is a preferred posture? Like, what does that even mean? And she showed me Poshmark. I was like, oh my God, like this is a cult group of people, a culturally focused group of people that are into this thing, that are buying, selling, talking, trading, negotiating. I was like, this is exactly what I do on eBay, but without all the social fabric. And I was like, oh my God, bing. And I'll tell you the backstory of that in a second. But like then I told Steve, like, Steve, we got to do this. This is like, there's no more cult following. There's no more passionate group of buyers and people in a community than golfers. And he was like, you're totally right. And that's how the seed of Mully Golf was really planted. So when we say like things listed on Mully, like Mully is a community of buyers and sellers right now. I could get into the whole future of what we want to do. That's maybe later. But right now, it is a commerce-focused platform for people to buy and sell with zero seller fees. That was my biggest thing when we started. Is like the seller fees just for me turned me off of eBay. Like eBay was founded in 1995, 97, in that like .com boom era, right? Where I was selling things from it's a garage sale. It was like, oh my God, I've got my grandma's 1975 China dolls that I'm going to sell for $14 or whatever, right? It's like, okay. Yeah, make 10% off that. It's now 12.5%. But I went through a really rough period in my life where because I'm an entrepreneur, and anyone out there listening who's an entrepreneur, you know what that struggle is. Where I lived off selling, buying, selling, all that stuff. So I sold some stuff. I had to sell some golf clubs, a Mura set, some Scotties, this and that. And next thing you know, my total bill, it's just for easy math, it was 10 grand, right? And I was like, okay, sold 10 grand. I needed that money. I need to live. And I had eBay invoiced me for $1 grand. I was like, wait, where do you guys get off? Like, oh, your platform fees are 10%. I was like, okay, it makes sense now. So, and I was like, there's something inherently wrong with this whole model. Now that we're in the 21st century, e-commerce is different and connection and community is different. And I told Steve, and Steve is the logistics operations side of this business. I'm like the marketing sales, thinker side. And we just met in the middle, and we were like, oh my God, we have something so powerful here, like so powerful that we have to just start. So when you say like, what's the most ridiculous thing on Mully, what's funny is my dad would always tell me, son, the sweet isn't as sweet without the sour. And that's so funny to apply it to this, because it's all subjective, right? Because what I think is sweet, Steve thinks is sour, or what you think is sweet, maybe someone else thinks is sour. So it's so funny that the marketplace that we're building, just being golf focused, there's no pollution of lacrosse. There's no pollution of home goods. There's no pollution of anything. It's just golf. So when you're going to Mully, it's these golf focused items. If you're someone that buys Meadowwood, shout out to Cole, I love you, bro. Like if you're like that 90s inspired golfer that wants pleated pants, but for someone else, they're like the new age, I just want like tight fits and like, Jay Lindenberg. That's the beautiful part about Mully, is you're getting everything. There's no exclusion. We are the golf marketplace for every single golfer. So while that detour looks like shit to you, someone's gonna come back, oh my God, I found a detour. This is amazing. And that's the beautiful part about Mully. I'm gonna shut up now, because
if you want to find a hat that says "Will golf for food," that's your spot.
That's it.
I'm telling you, Steve, I think you were correct. That detour definitely was in like the 90s or the early 2000s when Scotty lost his privileges from Titleist. They're like, all right. Then they released it. They're like, all right, we got to give this back to Scotty. Like you designed the putters again, for the love of God, please.
Yeah.
I know someone out there is gonna buy that thing though, which is hilarious
100%.
to me. But again,
100%.
I just think it's I can't even. I'm not even gonna get into it.
What's the saying?
On that note,
yeah, go ahead.
I want to say one more thing with that. Like, It's so funny because I'm on the more marketing side. I'm like communicating with customers all the time. And the funny part is because Mully is 8 months old, and we're blessed to have thousands and thousands of users, right? We're not in the millions yet, like eBay is. And I feel like there's part of me, it's like I feel bad, like I want to help people sell stuff, but the golf community is so passionate and so loyal. They're like, hey, I know I can sell this in a day on eBay, but like I want someone to find this from the golf community. The golfers are so loyal, and it's such a cool thing that we're building here, because it's not about the money. And sure, we have zero seller fees, but that's our kind of enticing, value add or proposition. But it's not about that. It's not about the sales. It's not about the money. It's really about like, what can I give this community that I have in my garage I'm not using that someone else really wants? I gotta say that it's and anyone in the golf community listening right now, like we appreciate you so much for that, because that's the DNA of this company. It's for golfers by golfers.
Wow.
No,
Mully 2024. You're on my boat right there.
Oh
That is
man,
amazing.
that a giant meteor. We're in between the two. Jeez.
You know, one of my favorite parts about the app is, well, there's a few things, but not only are you buying like say I need a 7-iron from this specific set, I can go on, someone's selling that 7-iron like just randomly or loosely, and it's a used 7-iron that will match my set. But I also like that you also have like new stuff from like certain brands, like they're selling their line, which it's not like all used clubs. It's not all new clubs. It's also like products from, putter head covers from, what is it, Malbon you guys have on there? Yeah. Incredible. And then another thing we were talking about, like who's going to buy that? Like the value is in the eye of the beholder. I'm a Mizuno guy, and I see this Mizuno hat on there, and it's a vintage Mizuno hat for $300. And some may say that is ridiculous for a hat, but the eye of this beholder.
You're thinking about it.
The eye of this beholder says that is worth every
transferring funds right now to be able to work around it.
There's an offer functionality on Mully. Feel free to make the guy an offer.
That was our next question.
Yeah, that was going to be one of our questions, because we see like the fixed prices right now. So I was going to be like, okay, can we do a little bit of it? Because I feel like that's also a big golf thing too, where it's like, you can go into a PGA Tour Superstore and you're paying full price everything, but like you can kind of finagle around like a smaller little golf shop. You can be like, okay, can you take like $10 off real quick? And they'll be like, well, yeah, just buy this and we'll give you $10. You know what I mean? Like I feel as though the offer sheet right there, that's fantastic. I didn't even know you could do that. That's great. I need that.
There's like especially in golf now, there's like an instant gratification. Well, not even golf, just commerce. There's like this instant gratification of, I ordered Amazon Prime, I want it in my hand right now. Like,
best and worst thing to ever happen to humanity, Amazon Prime.
I agree with you.
And actually, Netflix.
On an ideological level, as a consumer, I'm like, fuck that. I'm playing around in 3 hours. I need my new head cover. Like, bring that to my door this moment. So yeah, I think we've kind of cut the bidding aspect out of the commerce engine, because it really doesn't add anything. We're really using the market, the market forces, whether it's eBay or GolfWorks or wherever, to drive prices to a place where items will sell. On top of that, we're basically giving everybody a 10% refund on anything they want to sell. So you can get a lot of things on our platform, brand new Scotty Cameron's included, for cheaper on our place than anywhere else on the web, because we don't charge those seller fees, and so they don't have to mark it up nearly as much to cover their cost and hit their margin. So we skipped the bid thing and went straight to the offer thing. And if a $300 Mizuno hat is what you want, and you can settle with the guy for $210, $190, like, make the offer. He's going to get the notification. He's going to counter offer. You guys will accept, and the transaction will be done in 30 seconds.
Now Tim's really thinking about it. Now he's really thinking about it.
I find that to be super awesome, the eliminating the bid aspect, because it's I mean, the whole point of the whole app is to get golf clubs into the hands of the people that may not necessarily have the means of buying expensive clubs and all that. And so it's like making it essentially accessible for anybody. It's an approachable marketplace. It's not like okay, I want these clubs, but it's gonna take me a couple days to weeks in this bidding war, and then by the time it's like, okay, I don't even want to go into it. So I like that, eliminating that bid offer, that bid war, because then you can just kind of get it as quickly as possible if you're really trying to get into the game, just starting out, and you want to make it as accessible to all as you can. So I do like that, instead of having to outbid someone that's potentially going to resell them, and go into that types of things. So
Well, what's funny is that people nowadays in the golf industry like to say grow the game. It's been a term that's people throw around loosely, and I think Steve and I align the fact that, like, we really do want to do this. Like, we really do want to grow the game, and like, we're not a single force by any means that's going to grow the game. Like Jack, Arnie, Hogan, those guys really grew the game. Tiger, my God, in this century that we live in, grew the game. We want to be a supporter of the game of growth, the golf's growth. By doing that, like, we're like, hey, how do we really take a stance in this world? How do we really do that? And it's making a marketplace, making a system, a platform that can encourage people to take, myself included. I had clubs in my garage. I was just too lazy to sell. Like, what do I get $20 for them? Shipping is going to be a hassle. I got to pay fees on top of that. So we're actively trying. We've already combated the platform fees. So I sell something for $20, I keep $20. We are working on shipping, which is coming shortly. Like, that's an ongoing wrestle that we're having, but we are determined to figure out how do we make this game more approachable, easily accessible for other people, everyone out there. Because we know that new golfers are intimidated. They're not going to go to a Roger Dunn. They're not going to go to a Carlos Golf Land. They don't know what to look for. They don't know what to buy. So how do we make golf in this booming, I don't want to say economy, because the economy is not great at this moment in time, but in this booming world, like, because golf is exploding. The popularity of golf is growing. How do we make golf and the shopping of equipment more, golf stuff, equipment, everything more accessible? So I think that's what we're committed to.
No, I mean, you make a great point right there too, with like golf has never been like, I mean, obviously COVID was horrible for most of us. It was great for the golfing world because it was golf, it was tennis, and like, that's about it for the sports that like you can kind of do individual, that people were allowed to go and play, like, and like you could fish, but like, everyone kind of has their own niche. But I feel like golf became like kind of the go-to sport, and I feel like, especially for Mully, like, kind of living out that part of it where it's like we're growing it. Like, we're not just gonna, you can sell a $3,000 iron set of Mura to a specialty buyer, or you can sell a $100 set of 1970 Wilson blades, like, to a random golfer who just, who's just picking up the sport. And by God, try those. You're probably not going to be able to hit them, but give it a go.
I don't know if you sell the Wilson blades to a guy trying to learn the sport. I mean, that's an early exit.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I'm just looking around my office here, and I'm like, okay, I could probably sell that putter. I could sell that head cover. Like, it's like things that have just been accumulating that I'm like, oh, I could start a collection, or I could just get rid of it and and make a buck. I mean, I have my old TaylorMade irons in the basement, and it's just like the whole hassle of like, okay, like, do I put them on Facebook Marketplace? What do I do? It is missing a pitching wedge. So because that fell off mid swing on a par 3. So like, now knowing I'm able to sell partial sets or individual irons makes me feel good about it, because it's like somebody's going to need a 9 through 4 somewhere.
They've already got the pitching wedge.
My question to you guys, like, why did you guys start the podcast? Like, what was your why?
Ooh, never been at that.
Go for it, Brad. Well,
no, you started it. I'm the last guy to join.
No, that's a great question. So I started it. I started writing actually back in 2017. I quit my job. I was going back to grad school, and so I started writing because I wanted to do kind of something on the side. I found out very quickly I'm not a very good writer. Like, I could not make it. If I'm being honest, I sucked at it. Like, I was just not a good writer. Like, I'm no Dan Rappaport writing for Golf Digest, and no anything like that. So I kind of let this thing go to the wayside a little bit, but I kept the name, and I kept the Duffin Up name, and I kept the Duffin Up website, because I was like, maybe we'll think of something in the future. 2020 rolls around. I was like, okay, like let's start 2019. Well, 2019 rolls around, I start doing a podcast by myself. It was horrible. It was overproduced. It was, so it's just like trial and error. And then I reached out to both Mike and Tim. All of us were kind of doing like some social media stuff. And I was like, hey, I grew up with, we all grew up together in the Southern Massachusetts, Rhode Island area. And I was like, hey, like, do you guys want to do this with me? Because both Mike and Tim had listened to the podcast before. And, Mike had always texted me about like improvements that I could do. And I was like, dude, just like, do you want to do a co-host thing? And he was like, yeah. He was like, can Tim join too? I was like, yeah, like, let's just do that. Yeah. And then Mike, our Mike, who is currently out of the office, unfortunately, but he couldn't make it tonight, but he went on a paternity leave when he had his first kid a couple months ago. And Brian volunteered to do kind of like a fill-in role,
like a glorified
and then I was
substitute teacher.
Yeah, he was our substitute teacher.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. It's for better for worse. Yeah.
And then all of us were just like, why don't we just complete the scramble foursome and just do it, all four of us? So it's definitely been a progression. I think all of us have. I have a very big passion for golf. I've been playing since I was 5 years old, and I just never got good at it because I never really put the work into it when I was a kid. I played all these different sports, so that's where the term duffing up comes from. That, like, that we all are really just average at best golfers that are out here just enjoying the game. And some of us are. Brian's a great putter. Timmy can hit the ball a mile. I got the good lefty.
Boy, are we handsome. We are unbelievably handsome.
We gotta go play soon. Yeah, we gotta play then.
Short answer.
It just comes from just talking golf with a bunch of regular old schmucks who are not very good at it but still love the game.
I love it.
Now, where are you guys located out of? These guys. Sure. The guys that I'm not normally with.
Mike's pointing to me on his screen. I'm in the DC area. Mike is in Nashville.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
I was born and raised in Los Angeles. Funny story. I played high school golf with Anthony Kim. That name may sound familiar to you.
What?
Guys. Yeah, it's old. I swear to God, Campbell Hall Golf. If you can find him, he'll tell you. Yeah. But I grew up in LA. Went to Southern Cal University. And ended up in Nashville just to get away from it all, and to be kind of look closer to Steve, because Steve's in DC, the DMV area as they call it. And I just knew what we like to do. What we're doing, there's a lot of time that we need apart, but there's time we need together. Like what we're building, guys. What we're trying to do it's no small feat. Like, we are really trying to take down one of the biggest golf store in the planet. You know what it is?
Is it like Second Swing Golf?
It's eBay.
Really?
eBay is the largest. They transactionally, they do the most amount of volume of any golf store on the planet. And that was kind of like, it's just like, we gotta, like, if we're gonna go toe to toe with these guys, we're gonna do this. We gotta do it. And Steve has brought a lot of his friends in from his network of people into this business, and we're blessed to have a bunch of supporters, and we're still growing, and we're giving us everything we got. But yeah, I had to be closer to him, because the coast to coast 3 hour difference, like, hey, you up? You want to bed? Like, that was not conducive for what we wanted to do. So I'm in Nashville. That was the closest point. But yeah, I mean, I got to give him a lot of credit, man. Like, I ask why you guys do what you do, because the why, I mean, guys, like, I don't know if you guys ever started like a company from scratch. This is my fourth business. Steve has another business of his own. Like, he knows, like, we know that to do this and what it takes, it's such a grueling process. It's easier not to do it. It's easier to just say, hey guys, I'm going to go clock in, clock out. We're good. There was something inside of us, both of us, and I'll let Steve speak for himself. But for me, when we started Mully, like, it wasn't like a quest to get rich. We were good on our own. Like, this was like, how do we really build something that's gonna help the community? Like, because we saw golf growing. We had this idea, guys, just so you know, before COVID hit. We saw it amplify. all COVID did was pour gas on our fire to see the amount of golfers exponentially grow. People are trying to take up the game. Steve and I both got calls from friends like who never played golf, who laughed at us in high school when we both played high school golf. Like, oh, like, hey, wait, hey, how do I buy golf clubs now? Like, where do I go? like, how do we help these guys? Like, what do we do? Like, golf is literally becoming a pop culture phenomenon, to the point where we're like, okay, we got to figure it out. So we knew Mully was a medium for us to really to pay it forward, because Steve's story, how he found golf, is great. Steve, you can tell that. Mine is to spend time with my dad, a product of a divorced household. Want to spend time with my dad. Golf helped shape my being. It helped shape who I am today, my relationships, the man I am in the world. And if I could do something to pay that forward, whether it be technology, a camp, whatever, and so be it, it's Mully. Mully is my medium to take golf to that next generation, to help that next gen, because golf has given me everything. The reason we are on the call now, the reason we could have fun, shits and giggles before we got on live, is because of who I am. And I would challenge you all on the call. That's who we are. Golf has helped us become this personality, and we owe it, because this is good. We like each other. We're good. We are the good force in the world. I am now talking. I'm going to stop. I swear to God. But this good in the world that we are is what Steve and I want to spread through our medium, which is Mully. So, I mean, Steve, did I cover our why in that? Or
you got Steve, who's the perfect mix of funny but not too funny. Kick it off, Steve.
Great job.
Tell me, bro. Tell me.
Just assuming, just based off of the llama picture, I could sense that's what you're all about.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
I agree with Mike. I mean, I think we all find golf in various ways for various reasons, but I think without question, every person it touches who gets the bug, as they say, is a better person for it. You learn, honesty, morality, character, discipline. There's just so much that golf gives human beings. And I think golf's kind of perpetual challenge for as long as it's been around is it's unapproachable, it's expensive, it's elitist. We've started to see that. I mean, I'll say it straight. It's white. Like that started to break down, even pre-COVID, but especially during COVID. It's penetrating new markets with rapid speed. Mike and I did this like wild PGA championship activation in Tulsa. We took over, their version of Top Golf for the better part of a week, and saw, just people from everywhere, from rural communities, from urban communities, old, young, male, female, like it didn't make a difference. People are out there to experience the sport. And I've been playing golf probably 25 years of my life at this point. It's different than it was. And I think there's an opportunity to capitalize on that. And I don't think that's anything golf has ever done really well, is when it does, like Tiger in 2000, when Tiger first came on the scene, like golf got really young, golf got much more diverse. The PGA and the golf establishment didn't do a great job of keeping those people engaged in the game. I think the opportunity with technology is a little bit different now. Now we can build an online community, and it doesn't matter how old you are, or what gender you are, or what you look like, or if you've played since you were born at a country club, or you're picking it up for your first time in your 50s at your local muni, or whatever. There's an opportunity to genuinely connect with people online around something you're passionate about. And I think that's where the community aspect of Mully really comes into this. And it stems from what me personally, and I think Mike echoes this in his own way, but what golf gave to me, I think the world, especially now, needs. So if we can spread that joy, that camaraderie, that inclusiveness, that community to as many people as possible by not charging a fee, because technology is pretty cheap to build right now. And we can, build connections that wouldn't otherwise be created. And you can find people you want to play golf with on Mully, and you can buy gear that reminds you of the good old days and a happier time. Like all of that is putting good out into the world. And that's really what this is all about for me.
Holy shit, what an answer.
See that's a tear coming down right now. Geez, Steve. Come on, Steve.
I'm out, guys. That's the best. I got nothing. I'm giving you my whole soul. I'm out.
Oh no,
I
that's
love
amazing.
it, dude. I love it. That was
That
so
was
good.
fantastic. I love
Okay,
that. One of the things.
are we recording? That's a soundbite for a marketing team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Try to say that
100%.
again.
No,
I don't think I could do it. The recording's working, right? Somebody got that?
it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
Please
It's
tell me
working.
Hook up somewhere in the
Please tell
middle.
me we
We
got
need,
that.
yeah.
Please tell
My
me
name's
we got
Steve, and
that.
I approve this message. It's like a campaign commercial here. Holy
That
cow!
was beautiful. I love that. I love that.
I
Dude, Steve and
know.
I
So
fight.
Tim talked about. Tim's a big Mizuno guy. I'm actually like a very big mixed bag guy. Ryan is one of the biggest ping guys you'll meet.
No, I only have a ping.
guy. You're
No,
a ping guy?
no. I only have a ping
That's a
driver.
driver, but you're a big ping driver guy, right?
Well, yeah, because
I thought
it
you were going
works.
irons now too for ping.
No, I still have Hogan's.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, you get the new ones, like the direct to consumer ones.
Yeah,
I need to turn this
got,
light on.
I got fitted at Club Champion, and that's what they went with. That's what I hit the best. So
what a model they've done in reinventing themselves, going direct to consumer.
Right?
They
From
twice or three times.
Irons, send them back.
I'm pretty sure they tanked twice, and I think this is their third time around.
Yep.
Pretty awesome. Yeah. No, I'm a pretty mixed bag. I got Hogan irons, but I did splurge last year on a Scotty, my dream putter, Newport 2. So I've been lights out on the green just because it's all mental, 100% mental for sure.
So not the detour. You're not a detour guy. Okay, I hear you. I got it. I hear you.
Yeah, maybe no, that could maybe eliminate some of those three putts.
Guy, the guy that's selling that putter and the guy that's buying that putter. And that's it. Oh man, but I did want to ask. So obviously you hear we've had a couple of people on the podcast and they always talk about like brand loyalty, and I feel like that's a huge thing in the golf industry. Like, I just talked like Tim's a big Mizuno guy. I like I play both Callaway and TaylorMade stuff and Cleveland wedges, and that's where my brand loyalty really is Cleveland wedges. I'll never not play anything but Cleveland wedges. I tried Vokies and I stuck with them.
Terrible.
Oh, what do you guys think?
I think it cost us a sponsorship.
What do you guys think is the most loyal brand that you guys have on what do you guys see as something that like either sells almost immediately, or there's a huge community outreach on that side? What do you guys think is that biggest brand? Do we have two different answers?
We might.
You're gonna say it's from your ass as you can see. Go ahead.
There isn't it's not the OEMs is what I'll tell you. Like these big guys.
Good answer. That's a good answer. Sorry.
Should I stop?
I'm excited.
I feel like I just pegged that out. Should I stop?
No, keep going.
No, going.
It's not the OEMs. I think we didn't expect when we started Mully, like we assumed a bunch of idiots like us would go clean out their garages and put up some dusty old persimmon woods from the day for $30, and that would kind of be predominantly what was out there. I have been beyond surprised. I mean, I don't even know what a word beyond just exuberant is, but so many little like micro brands, I'll call them, like just golf creators who are in their garage or in their basements, tinkering. It could be, cleaning brushes. It could be head covers. Some guy takes like kids' Jordans that are worn out and turns them into like putter covers. We've got, hats, like custom hats, like shirts that have like this wild fabric and, all this really cool stuff. So vintage clubs, like there are so many creators out there that are creating net new stuff for golf that you just won't see. You won't find on eBay because it's so crowded. You won't see on Instagram because they don't have 10,000 followers and they're not paying for advertising, and the algorithm won't pick them up. Just so many of those little guys sell more on our platform than even our retail partners who are, up there, like, selling brand new shit at a pretty good discount. They're fantastic. So Mike had said earlier in the conversation, like, look, buy, sell, connect. Yeah, but discover is a really like sleeper feature.
That too.
There's so much that you see that you'll never see anywhere else. And honestly, that they're using us to create their business, which I think is really, really dope. We bring the golfers and they bring the product, and the rest is sort of like symbiotic joy. It's awesome.
Yeah. Guys, for the record, this is recorded, so you can you can hear that I said that. Did buy, sell, just connect and discover. I said discover.
Is
I
this
did.
just your marketing
I
shoot
did.
right now? Are you guys using
No.
us just to record
No,
record your
no.
marketing commercials and all
No,
that?
it's true. I was gonna say Scotty Cameron is the best seller because it's just a hot brand. People love it. And there's so many rare Scotties we sell. Like we have rare. Because think about it. Like people want to get off eBay. If you have a rare Scotty, you're selling for $2,000, $1,500. That's a lot of money you're leaving on the table. So they're coming over to our platform because of the monetary benefit. So that was my knee-jerk reaction. But Steve is right, because what we're doing, like the efforts that we're contributing to with our marketing effort is building a community of people, of golfers, of buyers. So all these niche brands, I can name a handful, are coming to our platform, and a lot of them are premier sellers. We've got a guy, Max Young Dirty, out of New Mexico, building a brand. He has a following of 10,000 people that he's selling on Mully. Why? Because golfers are there. He can sell more. They're Super Swings, who's refurbishing golf clubs on Mully. Mac Milling, who's doing Scotties on Mully. There's just, Ready Golf. I can go, the list's long. Like people are coming over to work with us because we are doing the legwork and building this environment for people to come shop golf. So when you're in the mindset of shopping golf, of course you want to build your brand. And funny enough, Ready Golf, who's a huge supporter of ours, left Shopify just to sell exclusively on Mully. He's like, why am I going to pay Shopify the 4% and $30 a month when you guys are? It's so it's starting to happen. We're only 8 months old in the marketplace. The business itself is 2 years old. We've been working on this a long time, but we're still young. So we're trying the best we can to be respectful, to listen to the community, to really solve a problem. I think that's what we're really focused on right now.
No, that's fantastic. And you hear about it too, like where professional guys, they always have the brand new TaylorMade stuff or the brand new Titleist stuff, but it's like, it's not really TaylorMade or Titleist off the shelf. Like that's in there, they're getting it, they're fixing it up to their exact specs, everything like that. And then you see a guy who I'm not the biggest fan of, but a guy like Patrick Reed, who goes years without a single sponsor for his golf clubs. And he's out there, he's playing Grindworks, he's playing Bettinardi, which is a very good putter brand, but you don't see many Bettinardis out on the PGA Tour because they're not really giving them out too much. But he's playing a lot more of these artisanal brands, and that's really cool that you guys are kind of almost owning that space too, where it's you want these more artisanal brands, you want kind of this little niche market. Come to Mully, this is getting sold on our platform. Whereas if they go to eBay, exactly what you said, they're selling their artisanal stuff, but then they also got to put the 10% in, so they got to raise their price. They got to pay crazy shipping, everything like that.
It's real.
It's unbelievable.
If it's even real. Let's talk about forgeries. That's a whole nother thing too that eBay introduced.
Oh God, yeah.
We're domestic only, so I think in a way, by being constrained to the U.S., you're never going to get anything shipped out of a forgery factory in China. It's going to come from another person. Because you're verified through email address, phone number, all that's Facebook, however you want to log in. You're going to be a real human being. So the forgeries are another piece of that too, especially for the really high end items, the rare irons, the tour stuff, all those kinds of things. So
well, forget that, but that's a valid point, and I agree with him completely. But the other side of it is, think about if you were a skateboarder in the 90s, where did you go? You could buy trucks, the board, Big Five. I don't know. I was born in '84. I was in that era, and then all of a sudden comes this skateboard culture where everything was kind of moving online in that time of the .com boom, and you could find these really cool companies like Stussy and Quicksilver. You got it was quick. You learned it. That's what we're trying to be. Right now, there's no debate. The golf is exploding. Pop culture, golf culture, any culture, golf's a part of it. You see it in hip hop, you see it in rock, you see it in traditional. It's bleeding into everything. So what we're trying to do is really be a platform. If you have an idea, whether it's a clothing brand, a golf club manufacturer, whatever you're doing, whatever your craft is, we're trying to be a platform for you to use it. Like go, like showcase who you are. Because back in the 90s when skateboarding was massive and you couldn't get into Big Five because it was a retailer. Like we're trying to be that. We're trying to give someone a voice, a place to be of discovery. So
that's absolutely fantastic. And I think that's where golf is going to go. You're going to get a lot more of the, it's not going to be owned just by the Titleists. It's not going to be just owned by the Callaways. No matter how amazing TaylorMade's marketing is for their woods, it's not just going to be owned by the TaylorMade's, all of these different areas. I do think it's turning. And I think what you guys do is absolutely amazing, kind of bringing these smaller brands, and not even smaller brands, but like very, niche areas. Like I literally had never heard of Grindworks until, Hack Life Headwear, shout out Hack Life Headwear. I never heard of Grindworks until I read it in an article about how Patrick Reed plays like weird clubs that no one else will play. And I think I even saw like a set of Grindworks irons on your guys' on your guys' site, and I was just like, oh snap, like these are legit. Like the old thing about how Tigers Nikes were actually just mirrors and everything like that. Like it's always, you always see that from the tour guys. So it's very cool
just
that you
slapping
guys
a
are
logo
offering
on it.
those different areas too.
Hey, speaking of logos, love your guys' logos. Tell me the story behind, for those of you who haven't seen their logo. It's like a little French bulldog. I think it's French bulldog. Take with like a college sweater on that says M on it for Mully.
Sir, it's a British bulldog. Thank you very much.
All right. Tell me the story behind that.
It's amazing. It is one of the coolest. So I definitely love Logo Talk. It's one of the coolest logos I've ever seen. What Tim was saying. What made you guys come up with it?
I gotta give Steve credit on this because I cry every time I tell stories. It's this gift that keeps on giving. So I had a French bulldog who his name is Bodie. He passed away at 6 years old, freak accident. I was with Steve at the time. Steve's like a big brother to me. He really is, and he's more than a business partner. He's literally like a mentor. He's a great. You're not here right now. I'm not talking about you right now. And I was going through a really tough time, guys. Like he passed away. Anyone listening who has a dog, like when you have a dog, it's like, this is my first dog. Like he teaches you like about responsibility, about love, compassion. There's so much a dog teaches you and a pet teaches you. I won't say a dog, but so he freakishly passed away in a weird way. And I was with Steve at the time. Bodie was not with me. And Steve's like, oh my God, like I could see Steve like feel for me. And the days after, Mully was already in the works.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve basically said, hey man, like I know it's early, but like how do you feel about making our mascot, that dog, Bodie? And I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, let's do it. And I got to give credit to Tony Napton. Tony, who's he's the graphic designer over at Random Golf Club. You guys probably know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Anders Lang's company. Tony's a part of it. This is a long time. This was 3 years ago. Tony was a buddy of mine. Tony was the founder of Radery Golf, and Radery graphics, and the Radery, what he built there was just so next level. There's just Tony is so talented, and I give him all the credit. And him and I were buds, and I was like, Tony, man, like, hey, I know you're busy, but like I kind of had an idea to make Bodie the bulldog, Mully, and he's like, say less, I got it. He came back with these iterations and he just crushed it. I'm gonna tell him, like, what you guys see today for Mully the bulldog, like we call him Bogey the bulldog for Mully, to share that B with Bodie. It's a crazy because Tony's talented. He took Bogey and made him Bogey. You see him today, and it's cool because his spirit lives on. And what the coolest thing about it, and now this is where we get emotional, I get deep, and you guys like, shut the fuck up, Mike, what are you talking about? Who Bodie was, like he was just very like loving, nurturing. He would always be there for people. Like everyone loved him. And he was such a spirit. And I think that's really what golf is. Like golf is it's an energy. And when you fall in love with golf, you kind of just you adopt this spirit. And funny enough, man, like I just think that's who he was. Like as a dog, he was such a great little dude. And for his spirit to live on in Mully, and when I see Mully has done so many events with we did an event with what's it called, the not PGA Tour but the Corn Ferry Tour. We did one here in Nashville, and we did an event. We obviously did the PGA Championship in Tulsa. We've done a couple events, and every time the people just like the stickers. They love the stickers. They quickly adopt the stickers. They put them all over their, like the kids love it. They put them on their hats, on their shirts. And it's cool to see, like, that's the spirit of it. And the spirit of golf and the spirit of Mully is to really spread this good, to spread the fun, to spread the energy of it. And that's why I got to thank you, Steve. Like, Steve, it was your idea, man, to make Bodie this logo. I was too close to it, and I think you nailed it, man. Like, this is what it's about. Is I'm looking at a hat right now. Like, we have hats coming out. We've got so many cool little swag items, and we're not a brand. We don't want to be a brand. We want to support the brands, but sometimes we'll do drops. Sometimes we'll put little bogey on logos on items, and man, it's beautiful. It's really cool to see, because that's our ethos, is to really spread this energy, and that's what the Bulldog possesses. That's what it's about.
That's awesome. Oh, we gotta hook you guys up with one of our friends, Jeff from Chasing Aces. He has a very similar store. Like, so his brand logo is a golden retriever, and it was literally his dog Franklin, who passed away in an accident as well. And he was like, how can I make this live on? And he created like Chasing Aces Golf. And it's like, I have a 2-year-old pup right now. Well, it's my parents, but like I basically call him my own. And I know Tim's got Norman as well. So, definitely, but like just something about a pet definitely helps just keep you calm. Definitely helps you out on that side. And I feel as though what you just said too, like having that spirit still live on, like that's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm not gonna say like he passed away because of that.
But I definitely think the timing of it all, being with Steve, living in his house, being with him, how that all happened, it was almost like oh man, it's so weird. It's like so woo, right? But it's like his purpose was bigger than just being my pet. His purpose was showing golf to kids, to people. And I mean, I've loved French Bulldogs since I was a kid. I think there's something in their energy, in their being, that's just very playful. They're not very serious. They're not dangerous. It's not aggressive. They're just these like little dumb animals. And I have one. So I mean, it's like they're not like, it's like, they're just like little fun things. And that's why, like, I remember Steve told me, like I remember you were there, bro. Like you said, like, his spirit will live on in Mully. And I was just like, and that was it. I was like
second time like, here coming down. You guys are killing. You guys are killing me. I'm crying over here.
Man,
jeez.
If we could, we'd hug it out right now.
Yeah, seriously, we're giving big Zoom hugs. Big Zoom hugs to everyone.
I think, and I'll say one last thing, because I've been hogging the mic, and I'll just shut the fuck up for the last little
That's why you're here.
Mike, you're here to talk.
No one wants to hear us talk.
I'll just say, man, like, if anyone out there is listening who wants to start a business, who's thinking about starting a business, who like, there's magic, there's something that the universe and the world and God, whatever you believe in, that just does. And there's a force in that. And I just want to thank Steve. Like, Steve, I love you, bro. Like, we have been so tight for so long. You have been such a helpful force for this business and what we're doing. I take a lot on, and I know that, but like to have a partner that believes in you, that supports you, that is there for you through thick and thin, you kind of need that. Like to do this, I couldn't have done this on my own. There's no way to do Mully, to do this business on my own. And I think he thinks the same. It's like, it just, there's so much that's being done all the time. To have someone that compliments you, that believes in you, that's there for you, it's just, you need it. You got to have it. And I think what we're doing, this is not like starting a book club. We are trying to take down eBay, the largest golf commerce marketplace on the planet. And I think we can coexist. This is not like a live PGA Tour thing. I'm not trying to like.
I was gonna say, we're
I'm not
getting
trying
there.
to
Don't worry.
Let's talk about
Don't you worry. We're gonna
We're
talk
shaking
about
things up.
it. We have thoughts.
But what we're trying to do is so against the grain of traditional golf commerce that I'm grateful for, the podcast, like you guys, to believe in this, to take us on, for Steve to believe in this, to take us on. It takes a lot of belief. It takes a lot of spirit. It takes a lot of true core wanting to what we're doing, and because this is not norm. This is not the norm. Like this, like Carlos golf, everything out there exists. So on that note, I just want to say thanks to everybody. Like Mully Golf is the reason I'm here right now. Mully Golf is what I want to do in the world. So I just appreciate you guys for supporting this.
Absolutely, man. We got Brian to download an app on his phone. Brian has not downloaded an app on his phone since 2015. Like, it's been that long. He doesn't even know what WhatsApp is.
If you're not watching the video, Brian is not 74 years old. He's like, he's 27. I don't even know how old you are, dude, but
I think that's spot on, actually.
That's
I got the weather app. I got my contacts and maybe the email machine here working there. And now I got Mully. Now I got
a great thing. That was my profession for a while.
I can't believe we got to be a part of like all of this. I mean, not Steve talking about, your guys' mission is why we're here, and also just Mike talking about the logo and the reason for his motivation for Mully, and and going back to what we were talking about before, the reason we're all here today is because of golf, and golf all means something to us all, maybe in different ways, but it has led us to this very moment, and it'll continue to lead us to different moments where we meet different people. And that's the beauty of golf. Golf is just us meeting new people and hitting a ball around, sometimes being happy with it, sometimes being sad with it. But I like what you guys are about. I mean, you guys get the bigger picture, and it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm not closing it up at all. I'm just
I was just about to say,
we're getting kicked out.
I'm just being super you guys got me like reminiscing on life, and you can't get me in that mood.
We're deep in your feels, baby. Let's go.
My God.
Speaking of feeling terribly about everything, live golf versus the PGA.
Let's do this.
Talk.
I
need to pour a cocktail for this one. This is a big one. This is a big one. Okay, keep talking. I hear you. I got you.
I do. Obviously, so one of the big reasons why we also started the podcast too was Tim, Mike, and I are pretty big tour junkies, and then I realized that Brian was probably one of the bigger tour junkies I've ever met in my life too. Brian knows pretty much every single stat that has ever happened on the PGA Tour, and
that's the other app I have on my phone.
Yes, the PGA Tour.
We're an elite company. I appreciate you, Brian.
Yes, weather app.
And PGA Tour stats.
Yeah, right. And
I don't know how you guys felt about this year's majors. I think besides maybe a little bit of a disappointing Masters, just because Scotty killed.
Disappointing.
Scheffler killed it. Like there was no like comebacks. There was no nothing. You know what I mean? Like he boat raced it. Like it was unbelievable. I wouldn't even call it disappointing. I would say like this is probably one of the best. I would say probably the best group of majors we've had in probably the last 5 years or so. I mean,
agreed. Totally.
Let's be real. Like PGA Championship playoff, Masters, best player in the world still, but best player won. US Open, I was there. We were actually all there on Sunday at the US Open.
I
at
see
the
your
Country
flag.
Club.
I was gonna ask if you guys did you guys like go together?
Well, so Timmy and Brian are brothers. And we actually tried to meet up, but of course the country club has 0 cell phone service. So like we were literally walking
The
around
country
the
club.
entire place.
The country club. That's nice.
They're like,
That's
no,
so fair.
But we got these Sirius XM radios that we could listen on site,
The country club.
Good. There you go. That's badass.
right? Like super
and then
fluid.
even though my heart got ripped into a billion pieces at the Open
Rory.
Championship because of Rory, Cam Smith with an excellent comeback.
Okay.
And all people talk about is this is live golf. Like literally Cam Smith, after winning the British Open, the 4th or 5th question was like, so are you joining live now? And the dude is like, you know what, even if he does, like, it's just like, can you let him drink a couple beers out of the claret jug before you ask him that?
Two to be exact is what he recorded.
You can fit 2 beers in a claret jug.
No, you can't.
But
I'm gonna let Mike give all. I want to hear your guys' opinions first of all.
I've talked so much. I don't want to talk anymore. You talk.
You guys,
Mike's gonna make us cry again.
Brendan,
I don't want to cry. I'm just gonna
Mike's
mute
gonna
him.
talk about the
About
history, and it's gonna be Sam Snead and Ben Hogan, and I'm gonna be on the floor in a puddle of my own tears, loving
Have you guys by chance saw or seen or heard Colt Knost, his take recently? You heard that?
I saw his Pat McAfee thing today, and I thought it was spot on.
Oh my God.
I think I'm actually probably out of the 3 of us, and also Mike, because our Mike is probably the most anti-live out of everyone. I am the most, I would say, like, kind of open to it. But I'm also very open to it, where I am like, if you go, then you're gone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you go, you take your money, you did great. If you've won majors before, you get to play in the majors. If you're Taylor Gooch, who gets paid $30 million up front, and now like your OWGR rankings are done.
Taylor Gooch, who thought it was a one-time deal, and I was just signing up for one event, and oops, it's a lifetime.
Yeah, literally. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, dude, like, you made your bed. Like, now you got to lie in it. And like, I loved Greg Norman growing up. He was one of my favorite golfers growing up. But then like, everyone kind of knows he's like a little bit of a not great guy and has a huge axe to grind against the PGA. So like, seeing that, and like, this week I'm very mad about it just because they went after like the Ryder Cup. Like, they went after Henrik Stenson. Like, who's paying money to watch Henrik Stenson golf anymore? Like, let's be completely honest.
Any of these guys golfing? Who's paying money to watch a 54-hole, scramble, basically? Like, I mean, not a scramble.
To be fair, I'm probably going to the event in Boston when it comes.
To be fair.
And I'm curious, when you come back, like, I'd love to just to chat. Like, was it as exciting? Was it as interesting? Were you like riveted by what's happening? Did it matter?
Yeah. One of the biggest things I get, and I'm going to let Brian and Tim talk about it, because Tim, like, I know how Mike's like, I'm going to shut up now. Like, I literally will, because I can't go down the road again of like going after it. But I just remember at the port.
Go out, give us a fucking soundbite. Go, Brendan.
I just remember people talking about
clip. Give us a soundbite.
So I have very much on the side of like, yes, like, everyone was like, look how much fun these players are having out on Live Golf. Look how much fun they're having out on the tour. I'm like, yes, because they already made their fucking money. Like, they already made their money. They signed up for it. And the worst they can do is 48th place, and they can win $150,000. Pat Perez, who is one of my favorite golfers ever,
shot 80.
Can I go?
Yes, Mike, go ahead.
Okay,
yes,
Mike, we didn't even get through Brendan. After you asked for the hot take, you're already jumping in. Jesus, come on.
But see, like I hear you, but oh man, I gotta temper this right now. So I think that Tiger said a lot of great things.
Sponsorship.
So Tiger said things where it was like what is the incentive to dig it out of the dirt? Like, why practice? Like, why do this? And I agree with him. Like golf, and I agree with Colt. Like golf is not the sport where you earn your rights for a salary, because a salary is a team game. Like if I have to rely on other people to play for my result, it's not fair. Like I need a minimum. Golf is an individual sport like tennis. Like you go, you play, you earn your keep. Now, I think what Liv is doing is pretty interesting. It's really fun. Like in the perfect world, it should coexist. Like this should
It's
exist.
wildly entertaining. Like for watching
great.
it, like it was wildly entertaining.
This should have been like a WGC event, like that whole circuit, like for the All Stars. Like if you make it to the Tour Championship, those 30 people get this reward where you can play in these events where you get paid to go. You can do it. You get all this treatment. That's your reward for being there. Yeah. And the PGA Tour, in my opinion, totally fucked up their response. The players fucked up their opinions. Like Phil fucked up from the beginning. Like when he said, yeah, like I think that they're doing it the wrong way. Like, no, Jesus Christ. You should the PGA Tour, they're great. They're fantastic. They could have helped us this way. Like, don't bash it. Like that's where Colton Oates got it right. Like, do not bash the tour. The hand that fed you this entire time. The hands that helped you create this brand. It's just oh man. Okay, that's my take.
No,
I'm done.
And I think that's where I really draw the line is like I truly thought that I thought everyone was going to be like DJ, where they're like, I'm gone, I'm good, I'm going to play in the majors, I'm going to play live golf. I'm not going to ask to go play on the world tour. I'm not going to ask to go play on the Asian tour. I'm going to play these events. I'm going to go play the majors. I'm going to sit on my $125 million. And honestly, I'm good. I thought everyone was going to take that view, but then you hear the Taylor Gooch saying, I bring him up because it's just hilarious. It's literally just funny. Like Taylor Gooch saying, oh yeah, this event was just like a Ryder Cup. Like, are you joking, dude? You have never been on a Ryder Cup team.
Spoken from a guy who's never played on a Ryder Cup.
Yeah, you will never be on a Ryder Cup team now. And it's just one of those things where it's people talk about it. Exhibition golf, I hear a lot. I think it's a little bit more than that, because there are guys on there there's guys who would never have a shot of making any type of money. Kenny Duplessis was a 26-year-old from South Africa whose career earnings was $40,000 on the South African tour. Finished in second place in London. He made $2.1 million. You know what I mean? That's life-changing money for those guys. But at the same time, you also look at it and you're just okay, do I really want to watch 45-year-old? Well, I would watch 45-year-old Pat Perez, but do I really want to watch 41-year-old Graham McDowell?
Checking out his Jordans, let's be honest.
Yeah. Who's over? Do I really want to watch Graham McDowell, who has said he's done? He's over the hill, he's done. Do I want to watch Henrik Stenson? Do I want to watch Phil, who doesn't really care? You can tell out on the course he doesn't care. And everyone's saying, oh, look how much fun they're having. You know what? Tom Brady and NFL players do not have fun when they're playing games. And, they are working. They're grinding. They're trying to win. And I feel that side of it is it's not as lost, but it is definitely a significant less type of a kind of situation where guys out on the PGA Tour are grinding and they're not talking to each other on the final day unless they're completely out of it. You know what I mean? Whereas DJ is in the final group and he's laughing with Abraham Answer the entire time. And I'm
yeah,
dude doesn't care.
No,
I think.
Go ahead, Steve.
Sorry, I think I guess the way I view it is this: the players fall into two camps, and there's a very clear line. There are those who want to and can chase legacy. Mm-hmm. And there are those who can't chase legacy or want to chase money. And I guess I just kind of view it as I don't know, DJ, okay, 37, awesome career, one of the best ever, competitive this week, at least until Sunday. Is he a guy we're going to expect to show up and compete, for forever forward? Probably not. he probably looks at it and goes, man, this is $100 million. I don't even need to invest money at that point. I have so much money.
Yeah.
So I really do. I got to say, I appreciate the guys who are in it for the legacy and who want to be the best ever. And to me, as a fan, and I can't speak for everybody, that is way more exciting, exhilarating, interesting to watch Rory, who is in this to put his mark on golf, which is 200 years old at this point, to be one of the names that's inscribed on every major trophy that there is. To me, that's much more interesting than watching. I think Cantlay is rumored to go, or I think even Cam Smith is rumored to go this week.
Cam Smith's rumored to go.
Yeah, like Cam Smith say, okay, I won my major, I got my $2 million, and now I signed an $80 million deal, and I'm out. Like, I don't really care what Cam Smith does after that.
Yeah.
And beyond, I mean, and then forget the world golf rankings and like all the technicality about it. Even if the formats are interesting, Mike's right. I think these should be complementary on some level. I almost kind of, but I feel like the way they rolled it out was they've turned into like the WWE of golf. Like they
turned into the NWO. They literally turned into the NWO.
It's pure spectacle, entertainment, like no real content, no real value. Like nothing those guys do matters. It's money for them, not for us. Like, cool, I can go watch Dustin hit ball far or Bryson hit ball far. Like, but it doesn't mean anything. And over time, maybe that changes, right? Like in the short term, where I grew up in the Tiger era, and he's chasing Jack, and we had the Phil rivalry, and like all of this like really great historic golf. Anybody who jumps straight from college into live, like, are they even in the conversation with the best ever? Like, I just don't know. So it's gonna be not interesting to me. Maybe in 10 years, like I got a 5-year-old, maybe he's gonna grow up and be like, yo, live golf is the truth. It's the shotgun start, and they're out there and they're chugging beers on the course, and they're doing long drive contests, and like maybe that's what golf turns into. But where we sit today in the tradition that golf is anchored in, I don't see how that transitions to live and makes live relevant, other than purely just, it's like the circus. Like, it's okay, well, when I'm done with the PGA or I realize I can't compete, Matt Wolf, I'm going to dip over to live and just be like, all right, well, I'm going to make my money, since I don't want to grind my existence into dust on a mini tour.
I mean, the big part too, you kind of touched upon it, is the other side of it is Jack and Tiger have made the tour kind of unattainable in regards to like major records and such. So it's like there's such a big gap between the amount of majors that they've won and acquired in their lifetime. So it's like the record book is very hard to even like make a big enough mark. I mean, winning one major, you're in the record books, obviously, but it's just like, how are you going to get close to that, even like 15 majors, 18 majors in that sense?
Isn't that what it's about? Like, isn't that the chase? Like, so my question back is, so live, right? So this league where you can get paid, the PGA Tour set the price tag on these guys. Imagine the PGA Tour doesn't exist, right? So it's gone. These guys are in college, they're playing college. Like, who sets the price tag then? How do you know what each player is worth? How do you know what to pay a Dustin Johnson or a Matt Wolff? Like, again, Matt Wolff, I think, is whatever. I don't know what he got paid, but that's his way of saying, "Hey, I'm not good enough anymore. I can't beat these guys."
At age 23, he taps out.
That's the thing I have a problem with. But I also think to your logical point, like, that you could have, Hank Aaron would have never come along if he looked at Babe Ruth's record and was like, I could never hit that many home runs in my career. Like, I kind of feel like that's false logic. It's like, oh, well, they're so great, there's no way I'm ever going to be that good. Like, you don't know until you try. So if that's how you're wired, that's how you're driven, get your ass out there, hit the fucking ball, practice every day, and do your best. The other thing I'll say is I think the quality of live golf over time is going to suffer, because I liken this a lot. I'm a big football fan, so I liken this a lot to football. And you see these quarterbacks, linemen, wide receivers, linebackers, safeties, whatever, who get these crazy NBA players who get these crazy max contracts. And they're like, I've been paid forever and I never have to worry about money again. And I'm going to play eight tournaments a year, and I don't need to practice every day because I'm playing against fucking Phil, who's 55, and whoever else. Like, those guys are going to go up to majors and get blitzkrieged for the next
Yeah.
7 years. They're not even going to register on Golf Radar. They're not even going to be relevant.
100%. I couldn't agree more, guys. Like that like what he said is the truth. Like what they're doing is that they're like Live is buying players for their likeness, not their actual value. So when you're tuning in and you got the Koepka brothers, okay, no face to Chase. Like Chase, you're a good golfer, but you suck to the pros. Like you can't make it on the tour. Okay?
You're a top
Brooks Koepka.
1% golfer of all time, but you're not a PGA
exactly. Brooks Koepka. The second you got offered this deal, you stopped being the major slayer. You stopped. There's no more threat to you because you're good now. You got your money. Like everyone else. I don't think Phil Mickelson has broken 70 in a tournament this year. So it's
his starting age is under 70 every week.
So just dude, like chill out. Like you're not broken par. Sorry, you're not broken par. Sorry, you're right. But like my point is it's like when you stop giving them the fight, the hunger, that reason to compete, no one cares. And I get that they're trying to compare this to baseball, to soccer, to other league sports, but you have to rely on people. You're assembling a team. Now, hear me out. If Live was a team event, like high school golf, college golf, where you had to rely on players and you were assembling a team, this is a completely different discussion. But if they're trying to be a individual sport with a team aspect, no.
Yeah.
Like stop. Just stop. Just become a team event. Do that. Take the top performers in the PGA Tour. Take them for 8 weeks of the year and make some team events. Awesome. Great. You could actually coexist.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is this is not.
Oh, no. They're trying to do a Formula One style, which again works in Formula One. Great. But it does. I don't think it's going to work in the long run for golf. And I think like they're kind of banking on people wanting that style. And here's the thing, right? Is that like, I know I kind of ragged on Greg Norman earlier. Greg Norman is the Big Lebowski. He's the guy in the Big Lebowski. You're not wrong. You're just an asshole. Like he came up, literally his idea. Was like when he came up with the World Golf Tour, the PGA Tour literally stole it and made the World Golf Championships. Like that was Greg Norman's idea, was turned into the WGC. Like that just happened in the 90s. And then with this, like the fact I do not think that Greg has the best intentions for the golf side. And basically I think Jack Nicklaus said that at the Open Championship too, where if it was anyone else running it, I think we would also have like more of a communication between, like, I think Jay Monahan would still be like shutting everything down, saying that they suck, like having all the golf writers like call them traitors and defectors and everything like that they're doing. But I think there would be at least like communication in the background while they're doing it. Because it's Greg Norman, that's not happening. And that is the worst thing for golf, because he literally just poached the European Ryder Cup captain because he could. There was no reason for there's no reason for Henrik Stenson to be on Live. He's not competitive anymore. He's literally said he's lost his game. Like he can't flush irons he's not the Iceman anymore. He's not the Iceman that he was. He is a shell of himself, and they gave him $20 million so Greg Norman can go nana nana poo poo. I took your Ryder Cup captain.
So I'm is it Jay Monahan? He's the PGA commissioner?
Yeah.
Right? All right. Message to Jay Monahan. Look, everything Liv is doing, you can steal. Look me in the eyes, Jay Monahan.
He's already stealing it.
No, hold on. I don't mean this $80 million bullshit of like, let me give you, just do bigger purses for like 6 events a year, which now directly competes with my FedEx Cup, which is 8 events, whatever, to bigger purses. No. Yeah. Listen, call up Pablo Escobar's estate or El Chapo's estate, get any money but Saudi money, and it's going to be okay. Dump it all into the PGA Tour and create this kind of like team dynamic for the same or more money. and you're going to be fine. Like the PGA could steal the model, which in part they're trying to do, but the money's not as attractive. They need to find like who the Saudis are up here in terms of like moral depravity, right? If you're at all paying attention to politics, like who's level 2 or level 3, you're probably not going to get the backlash if you go take their money and do the same thing. Like put them out of business, own the market, and be done with it. That's what
I know who they should call up? Norway. Because Norway has their own investment fund that's just as big as the Saudis because they were oil guys.
You love geothermal? Let's get that geothermal money, baby. Come on, you're saving the planet too. Yeah,
look at that.
Go.
Who's ever been mad at Norway besides like Nazi Germany? Like
No
who's ever been
all the
mad
Cali
at
cartel, get that cocaine money. It is way less toxic than that Saudi oil money. Come on.
DJ would have went way faster if there was cocaine money involved, I think.
It's crazy to me how, I mean, the PGA has done themselves a severe disservice. Obviously, like these guys hate paying for their caddies to fly places and putting up their own hotel rooms and, you know, per diems and all that stuff. Like, give these guys a benefit. Take it out of corporate profit. You're a non-profit. You don't need to make $1 gazillion a year. Like, turn it all back to your players so you can have the best product and protect your legal monopoly. I guess I just don't understand the greed behind it all, and the balance, like the greed on the balance sheet doesn't make any sense to me. Give them free travel, free accommodations, free food, fly their whole friggin' families out there. Like, it doesn't make a difference. Make it an enjoyable experience as your employees or contractors, employees in air quotes for those of you listening, not watching. And nobody's going to defect because they want to chase the legacy. They grind 20 years of their lives, 12 hours a day on a golf course from the time they're 5 to the time they go to college. Like, they want it, so just don't make it impossible for them to get it or try for it.
And I do think like some of the kind of what you're saying, Steve, like I do think there's going to be positives that come out of this whole thing. One of the things that Liv is doing is, just like you said, caddies are basically Liv employees. They get all of their stuff covered by Liv.
Yeah.
Again, like
as they should.
Like I've been harping on this forever that at least a guy who misses the cut should at least get $1,000 stipend if they miss the cut, just because that way you pay for your expenses, everything like that. And the PGA Tour should really actually take care of the caddies should be PGA Tour employees basically. Like you have your own. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry about that.
Sorry, no, I've been a fan of like the PGA Tour tour caddies. These guys are not what caddies were, no offense to caddies back in the day, like in the 70s or 80s. Like caddies take such an active role now, like in the performance of the player. The fact that they don't get a medal when like Xander Schauffele gold, like anyone, like their caddies should get a gold medal. They are a part of a team. It's a team effort that gets, if Xander's question to the group, if Xander's caddy is not there, I don't know his name, sorry, dude, whatever his name is. If you're not a part of the team, if you're not there for Xander, does he win gold?
No.
Probably not, right?
No.
Yeah. So if he doesn't win gold, but he wins gold because you're there, but you don't get a gold medal, like that was my turning point. It's like the caddies are no longer like, I'm going to carry your bag and help you out, like for physical stress. Like you are literally like Michael Greller and Jordan Spieth. You're a part of this team. Jordan Spieth always says team effort. Okay, you should be treated respectfully, and the caddies get
part of his preparation.
Shit on. They get shit on.
Managing his emotions.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I went to one of the practice rounds for the U.S. Open, and like obviously you see the pairings and the groups as they're coming through, and the group was Matsuyama, and Matsuyama wasn't even there yet. It was Tuesday. Matsuyama wasn't there, but his caddy was there. He was figuring out the greens. He was rolling the ball, trying to figure out the lie before Matsuyama even was on site. His caddy was there trying to figure it out. So he like obviously is doing the dirty work and preparing Matsuyama to play well before he's even on site there. So it's not just carrying a bag. They are, if not equally, they're just not physically hitting the ball, but they're doing almost everything prior to that.
So let me ask you guys an inflammatory question because I'm a huge Rory fan. Like the biggest.
Brendan, punch you. Brendan's fucking going out.
He's gonna do it at the Masters. He's gonna do it at the Masters.
What culpability, if any, does the caddy have on a player not winning? And let's be specific. Did Rory's caddy have this past weekend at the Open?
I love a good devil's advocate.
Can I take that?
Mike, you go first, and then we'll go.
Fuck. It's easy for me to combat my business partner because we do this all day. So, like I hear you, but the caddy's job is to, like you said, like, oh fuck, what a great question. God damn it, fuck you, dude. So I will say,
this is like a caddy player relationship right here in the business,
now,
Steve and Mike.
So yeah, it's like
for the record, Mike's the player, I'm the caddy.
I was just about to say, are we gonna get a Jordan? Oh, Michael, like anything.
But like Steve, are you asking like do you think that the Rory's caddy should have like amped him up a bit? Like, hey, like we got to go now.
No, this isn't fair to these guys. You and I have had parts of this conversation. I'm generically asking if a player falters down the stretch, how much of that lives with the caddy? Then I want to talk specifically about Rory because I was really fucking pulling for him, and I feel like there was some missed.
We all were. I think the world was. Like, no offense to Cam, because Cam's a fucking boss, and his putter is like the truth.
Liquid hot.
I will say, magma. Like, dude, that putt on 17. Like, are you kidding me?
Dirty.
Like,
the putt on 18 up the hill, the face of the hill, like to 2 feet. Like, I'm just gonna 20 under, guys. Record.
But my hot take on this, just to turn the mic over to you guys, is like the caddy is responsible for managing expectations, for being there support, obviously to help calculate. For Rory, unique circumstance, because if he did that, expectations, management, it's on Rory to step up and be like, yeah, this is my take. Be like, yo, we got to go now. Help me calculate the go. It's not the caddy to be like, yo, time to go. And so Rory's like, yo, Rory comes in like, hey, this is the mindset. We're going to play for par. We're going to play for birdie. We're going to play for a 68, right, to win. That's going to be good. And the caddy, he respects and responds to that. The caddy's job, in my opinion, is not to be like, yo, dude, you're going to lose if you just keep doing this. So we got to go. I mean, maybe he steps in and is like, hey, Rory, we got to wake up a bit. But I think as the player's got to be the quarterback, and the I'll say caddy is not, he's not the coach, but the caddy's like the wide receiver or running back. You have to help your quarterback. The quarterback's calling the shots, and that's Rory. I'm done.
Yeah. So this really pulls at my heartstrings because I'm a big Rory guy too. Like, I absolutely love him, and watching that was devastating. One of the things I will say, Rory went 18 for 18 for greens and regulation at the Open.
Sick.
So what was the caddy? And I think his fairways and regulation was outrageous too. Yeah. So tee to green, the caddy's job is, hey, let's hit it here. We'll set you up for the second shot. Hey, we're a good second shot. Let's set you up for a good putt. The one thing a caddy really can't, they can help you read a green, but I feel like when you're on the green is really like it. That's the player. Like, as soon as you get to the green, that's the player. And what did Rory do? Rory hit every putt on line. He just either didn't hit it or he overhit it. He had 36 putts.
This is why
you cannot blame the caddy for someone having 36 putts.
I agree with you. Rory's putter went cold, and I do think that was the ultimate difference. But I guess this is we both. I was texting Mike on like the 7th hole, 8th hole of Rory's round. I'm like, homie needs to wake up. He is getting caught. He doesn't know it yet, but he's getting caught. If there's bunkers on the right, don't bail out 30 yards to the left. Like, this isn't a course you can't play safe off the tee and have aggressive angles into the green to continue to make birdies, to give yourself a chance at birdie. every one of Rory's putts was 15 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 70 feet, 100, like that. Even if he should have hit more than 0. I mean, just he's a.
I mean, he should have hit 17.
putter.
Like 17, it was a 10-foot putt.
Yeah,
Like, he should have hit that.
At that point, though, he has 16 examples in his head of like, fuck, I'm probably going to 2-putt this. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do feel like it's the caddy's responsibility to say, Rory, like Mike said, like Cam Smith, he's ripped off 4 in a row. He's not going to stop. You know how good this guy's putter is. You can't avoid the bunkers on the left. How about you clear them? Don't bail out right. Go over them and give yourself an aggressive.
Let's go.
He was playing like he had like a 10-shot lead.
Yeah, we're sticking with our game plan. Like, okay, the caddy's kind of like the offensive coordinator, I guess, to use Mike's football analogy. Like, he can call the play and be like, I feel like this is what we need to do. But Rory's the quarterback on the field. He's going to read the defense and say, hey, no, I hear you, but I'm going to check out of that play and go to something else. But I don't know if Rory's caddy did that, but I definitely do feel like, back to the whole caddy conversation, they have taken on a more advanced role in golf, especially, in managing their players
100%
over the course of the years. And I definitely don't feel like golf is an individual sport anymore with caddies and all that data that's available to people now, the yardage books and all that stuff, like the data that's in there. It's definitely a team sport, and those caddies deserve to be either employees or get a shitload more money than they do, because some of these players don't win without their caddy, flat out.
The only thing I will say about that is I think caddies are also there because players get, I mean, look at Cam Smith on Saturday. He got way too aggressive and he fucked up. You know what I mean?
Same thing. Coordinator.
The caddy's supposed to be there.
Back off.
The back, like, I feel like that is most of the time what a caddy's doing, where they're like, hey, back off, play our game. So when you're kind of doing, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like caddies are always more cautious than the players, because the players like, yeah, dude, we're going to go out and we're going to shoot 57. Like, I can birdie every single hole. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So, yeah.
I mean, that was like Cam at the Players on 17 when he put the ball between the pin and the water, like on the right side of the green there. I mean, he even in an interview being like, I didn't mean to hit it that aggressively. I actually kind of missed it. And it ended up being like the craziest shot ever. But still, I mean, 17th like green at TPC Sawgrass, you're just trying to get it on there. You're not going in the water to blow a lead. And he went for the smallest part of the green between the pin and the water. And I mean, it worked out. He won, obviously, but I feel like that's how he thrives, but it could easily bite him in the ass real quick, real fast. And it has, I think, in the past, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a give or take. You can only give your player so much intel, so much knowledge, suggestion before the player has to like make a decision on their own. They can't just go on autopilot and be a robot and do what the person that their controller, their caddy does. Yeah. But yeah, it's a give or take. I agree.
I do agree that caddies deserve more money, but I do believe at the end of the day, it is the player that has to execute. So as far as to say, like where, in football or in baseball, you get the Super Bowl ring or you get the World Series ring to everyone, the trainer gets it, the whatever, every single person. I don't think a caddy, and this, you guys could be completely disagree with me, but I don't think like a caddy should get like a master's jacket, like a green jacket. I do believe they should 100%, get a plan going, be an employee of the PGA Tour, because they are that offensive coordinator. I like that take. But at the end of the day, I mean, this an unpopular. The player is the one who executes the shot, and without that player executing shots the way they do, the caddy may not have a job. But
no, I think I agree with you. Like, because what you're saying is like Tom Brady will win the Super Bowl, Bill Belichick gets a ring, but only Brady gets the MVP trophy.
Correct.
You have to be on the playing field
100%
to get that. Like the green jacket is that. So
yeah,
okay. Get that. But there should be more benefits.
Let's give Hideki's caddy like a couple of guest rounds at Augusta or something.
Yeah.
Hey, he got the flag. He got the flag.
Let me go do this.
The flag. He gets the flag. That's all.
I agree with you guys. I agree with you. Like there is a line of any amount of coaching preparation. There's someone that executes, and that's the player. Jordan Spieth,
always the player.
Anybody, Rory McIlroy, like you execute. And the benefit is that the onus of the result doesn't fall on you, but also you don't get the reward of it either. So, but caddies do not get enough respect in today's game. I think we all agree there.
Sure, absolutely.
No.
Yeah, I mean, Fluff, 74-year-old caddy. He needs some money. He's been carrying a bag for what, 30, 40 years now.
100.
And he is a national treasure.
At least get him a comb for his mustache.
Before he was a caddy, he was following the Grateful Dead.
Golden comb.
Before he was a caddy, he used to just follow the Grateful Dead around the country from concert to concert, and then he became a caddy.
Get him tickets to the Dead for life. Get Fluff. Justice for Fluff.
That's it.
Fluff is like a DC. He's a DC guy, I think.
He's a Maine guy. He's a New Englander. Yeah,
he is.
Born and raised in Maine.
I mean, he's been on the planet for 74 years. He was probably a DC guy for a decade.
I can tell you. So we have a family house down in South Carolina on Hilton Head Island where the RBC Heritage is played, and Jim Furyk gets in the field every year because he's an RBC guy, and Fluff is his normal caddy. So like when he plays in like big PGA Tour or when he plays PGA Tour events, Fluff is his caddy all the time. And when I tell you that like Fluff gets almost as much recognition as Jim Furyk at the place, he'll just be there. He'll be rolling up with, Jim Furyk carries a much smaller bag now than he used to back in the day because of Fluff.
Boy, does he.
Rolling up to the 9th, to the 10th hole, holds out a big old Marlboro Red, lights it. Jim Furyk hits, puts the bag back on, takes the ball, walks down.
Love it.
He probably doesn't do any. There's no shot he's showing up a day earlier than Jim Furyk to figure out the greens. He's probably late to the tee time, and he's like, "All right, we're doing it."
I think honestly, I think he's retired. I'm in the DC area, like I said, and Congressional is down the street from me or whatever. I'm 99% sure Fluff is a member at Congressional.
I love that.
Sick.
99% sure. I think I've seen him out there. Legit, I'm not a member there, but I think I've seen him out there during like interclub matches or whatever.
I love that.
Just ripping darts, absolutely
ripping darts.
Fucking reds on the porch, just flicking butts over the edge. It's great.
I want Fluff to live golf. I'm all for that campaign. Get that guy
live golf. Fluff to live golf. I mean, Cam Smith, Henrik Stenson, Fleetwood is going to go. They're saying like this week.
A very big Australian contingent right now too, with Leishman, probably Cam Smith,
Scott. I think
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott's gone. Hideki Matsuyama apparently might be going too, because apparently they're going to give him big money, and then they're I don't want to shout out. I know you guys have a sponsorship with them, but a certain golf company that he plays for may become the official. These are rumors that they may become the official equipment sponsor of the tour as well in the future.
Wow.
Well, Adam Scott looks like he works for UPS with all the brown that he wears. So I don't think that's who you're referring to.
No, definitely not.
Louis Oosthuizen plays on that. Literally used to wear UPS shirts. So.
But yeah, that's true. But Faraday, how about that? That's a big.
Yeah, Faraday's not.
That's a huge get.
Charles Barkley. You saw the Charles Barkley rumors.
That's not what. Why would he go? That's the thing though. Like I get it, but like I don't want to hear Charles Barkley talk about golf. I want to hear Charles Barkley crap on Shaq and the TNT.
If you're gonna watch a golf circus, you need Charles Barkley involved.
Yeah.
What type of show was that? What are we doing out here?
But I was saying, don't take my Dottie. Please don't take my Dottie Pepper. I love that woman. Don't take her.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So help me God.
How funny would that be? Dottie Pepper on the course at 11.
She's got the best golf whisper in the league.
They'll consume the dregs of the golf marketplace in the short term. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, like the amateur side of things, and with nil, like name, image, likeness stuff is going to be really, really interesting, because if they're going to build a long-term league, the place I would be looking at are the ranks or the college ranks, and saying, okay, look, we'll give you $10 million now, $5 million now, but you can't go to the PGA. You need to come over to live. If they can they'll build a real stable of people, and be a threat to the PGA.
They're gonna have to have a
something that they did.
They're gonna have like a PGA Tour Live Golf draft out of the college. It's gonna be fantastic.
But that's something that they did. So they got James Piot, who won the 2021 USAM. They got Eugenio Shikara, who won who was like the number 2 rated amateur. They got Turk Pettit, who won the 2020 or 2021 college, NCAA national championship individual. They're doing that, and they're doing it smart. And then poor Andy Ogletree got the boot. Poor young Andy Ogletree signed up for a tournament and got the boot the day after.
As we're talking about this nil and college golfers, something that I haven't talked about, the wheels are turning just a little bit right now. J.R. Smith. I wonder where J.R. Smith is going to.
Oh, he's going to live.
Yeah.
He's going to live.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with J.R. Smith isn't doing any of that shit. I think he made his money in basketball, obviously.
Yeah.
This is an education / life passion thing for him. And
Yeah.
I would, if anybody's gonna make a difference in the game, kind of to bring this back full circle to the beginning of the conversation, like exposing golf to underserved communities and making it accessible to them. I hope to God he's the ambassador for it because he's perfect.
Yeah.
I hope that's in his heart. He's perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think, what you guys talk about too with the community side, like everything that the game of golf is starting to build with, I know you guys mentioned it, like it has been a very, I would say majority sport, very uppity, very elitist sport in the US for years. Augusta National sponsoring the Augusta State women's golf, basically doing an endowment where the Augusta State women's golf team exists now, like them doing a lot of different stuff with the amateurs, with the women's amateur now there too. Just I think golf is finally realizing that they need to begin to really start and build those kind of new areas, because the old places I would say the older generations were very much more about exclusivity, whereas I think our generation, younger generations, are much more into the inclusivity side of we've been
doing 2 hours. Are you guys gonna edit this at some point? Edit this down?
No, we're not editing this. This goes right into
here.
iMovie and then directly onto Spotify.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna say this anyway. I feel like just purely from a business perspective, like you can only capture so much of the white affluent market.
Yeah.
If golf is going to grow, it has to grow. It's grown deep in that market segment. It's got to grow out and then grow deep in other market segments. And so I belong to a place here in DC, and Steph Curry. Shout out to you, Steph Curry, if you're listening, for what you did. Donated a bunch of money to some HBCU athletic programs to create golf teams, and some of those guys practice at the place I belong to out here. And it's so fucking cool to see those guys out there just like living it up, playing in college tournaments, in whatever conference that happens to be, that they happen to be in, rolling through. It's really dope, and it's super inspirational. And I know they're generating a lot of interest in more diverse communities. So fuck yeah, bring that shit on. And golf's for everybody. So Mully's for everybody because golf's for everybody. And let's go.
If Steph Curry is listening to this is an all-time coup. So just putting that out there. If we have Steph Curry listening to this podcast, oh my God, please.
Steph, if you're listening,
let's get Steph Curry.
We're trying to talk to you, Steph. We're coming for you.
On that note, my phone's gonna die any moment now. Like it's on.
Boys, gentlemen, boys. I think we'll call you. I think we're boys now. I think we're in the trust tree
with a Z at the end.
This is the circle of trust now.
BOIZ.
Boys.
Hey, before we go, do you guys have any hole-in-ones?
Oh yeah, Tim asked all these.
You have two?
Whoa!
I have a weird
one.
Mike has the best hole-in-one story. I have a fluky two. My holes-in-one. Go ahead, Mike, real quick. Tell your hole-in-one story. You're gonna cry for a third time. Mike's gonna cry for a fourth time.
So I played golf because my dad and I are very close. My dad's still alive. Shout out Sid Zara. Sid and I are very close. Sid does not have a hole-in-one. No, Sid does not. No hole-in-one for Sid. This was about 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago maybe. He and a buddy of his go to Scotland for a golf tournament. Royal Dornoch. They stay there. which by the way, Royal Dornoch is just, oh my God, if you guys haven't been, go immediately. So my dad goes, hey, by the way, we're going to go. Robert and I are going to go. Do you want to come? I'm like, yeah, I was in New York at the time. I was living in New York. It's an easy flight. I'll go. I went over and Robert, his buddy, couldn't play. So I took the spot. So I took the foursome there at Brora in Scotland. And my dad, I was playing so bad. Like the front nine was awful. I was probably, at the time, 5 handicap, 6 handicap. I was probably 5 or 6 over in the front. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna have a good time with my dad. Just don't care. Just play with my dad. My dad and I are just bonding. We're having a great time. We're talking about life, why I started playing and all that shit, right? And like we get to the 9th hole. It's 135 yards, blistering wind. I'm like, fuck it.
130 playing 240.
Yeah, I took 8 or 9 out of it. 8 or 9. I like just punched a little like worm burner thing up there. And I did not even watch it. I'm just like, good, hit it good, go. Look at my dad. My dad goes, that's gonna go in. I'm like, what? Next thing you know, we saw it skip land on the 9th hole at Brora. It goes in. I'm like, my dad is losing his shit. Like it was his hole in one. Like, oh my God, oh my! I'm like, I lost my shit. But I played golf. I played this game because of my dad, because I wanted to get close with my dad. And it happened in Scotland, the birthplace of golf, with my dad. So my hole-in-one is very special. It's very special.
That's amazing.
See that?
I should have gone
3 tier, 3rd tier out.
Told you. I'm not even gonna go.
Story.
I should have gone first because nothing.
You should have gone first.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Steve's like, I'm drunk with my buddies, and it just went.
No, I'm mine.
Skipped it over the pond.
Mine's more of a statistical anomaly. So at my home course, drain it. Right. Okay, cool. Wow, hole in one. Oh my God, lost my mind. Free drinks. Great. Good. Expensive for me. Good for everybody else. My second hole in one comes, and I'm like,
wait.
Hold on, whoa. I'm gonna get there. Calm down. Take it. Shh. Second hole in one comes. I'm like, okay, awesome. More free drinks. It's like 2 years later. I'm like, God damn it. More free drinks. Here we go. Same course, like my home club. And my club does a really sweet thing where they give you a plaque and it has like the outline of the hole and it tells you what tees you hit from and the yardage and like where the pin was, whatever. And I'm a little bit golf obsessed, so I have all this stuff like on my wall. So I put the plaque on I had the first plaque on my wall, and I get the second plaque in the mail, and I go to put it on my wall, and I look at it, and I'm like, they fucked it. They fucked this up. They fucked up the dates because it has the date on there. It was like June 30th. It's like, son of a bitch. The next one says June 30th. I'm like, they didn't update the last one when they made the plaque, right, with this one. And then I look at the year, and it's like, oh, June 30th, whatever it was, 2016. June 30th, 2018 or 2017, whatever it was, like same date, exact same hole, exactly 2 years apart. Wow. Really, and I had no idea, like obviously really weird. And to answer your question before you ask it, yes, I played 2 years later on June 30th, and no, I didn't make it.
I was gonna say you're overdue. Jeez.
4 years later.
It's a tradition at this point. What the heck are you doing? You got to stay out there every June 30th until you hole out.
This June 30th, didn't get one.
Oh. So close. No.
Not crying. I don't see any tears, you guys. I mean,
no, tears of joy. Tears of joy.
You guys have aces or what?
We don't have any. I love that Mike's hole in one was a worm burner. That's just that is so funny.
It was like a half skull, half. I don't know what the fuck it was.
That's so funny.
Neither of mine were good either. I'm like, oh, okay, it's fine. And like, I got a weird carom off a hill, and then it's like a split green, and so I hit up here, and then it just kind of like rolled down and disappeared. And I didn't know it until I got up there. I was just like,
wow.
Yeah, were you playing well? Were you playing well other than that? Like,
I was probably a 6 handicap at the time, and I think I shot like 90 on my.
So that's the thing. I feel like
the answer is no.
Always gonna happen when you're not
9 over par after 5. I roll up to 6. I'm like, oh, fuck you, golf.
It's never gonna be your best round and your hole in one in the same thing. It's
never gonna. No. So whenever you're 2x your handicap, just know it's coming.
It's coming.
Oh man, boys, thank you so much for this.
Appreciate
Steve, Mike. We had an unbelievable time. Everyone, please go down. Please pull a Brian and go download the Mully app. Please pull a Brian and go download the Mully app.
Yeah, it's worth
Please.
it. I recommend. I've been looking through it this whole podcast, and I'm gonna put some stuff up there for sale. I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff more than I need, and it's awesome. It just seems so user friendly, great interface, and doable. Let's grow this game.
And for the love of God, if someone listening buys that Scotty Cameron detour, please send us a picture.
Let us know.
We should raffle it off. We should do a raffle.
We got Mully, we got a Mully hat, Mully sweatshirt. We got you.
Please send a picture of it with like you holding it, and we can all see that it's crooked as hell.
This is great. Anybody listening who goes on the app, buys the detour putter, tags us both on Instagram, we'll send you a Mully sweatshirt.
100%.
Logo and everything.
100%.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Timmy just bought it.
Nope. You three don't count. Sorry guys. We'll send you guys the swag anyway. Don't worry about that. Listeners, go get it.
Wow.
Oh man.
I want to thank you guys. You guys are awesome hosts. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you
so much
again,
for coming on.